welcome back. If you're new, welcome to the channel. In this channel I only talk about football. It's all about football. We only engage with football matters, and we don't choose whether it's from South Africa, it's from Italy, it's from Spain. We just talk about football. But in today's video, I want to talk about Barcelona. I want to talk about how them having Rodri in their team is elevating them. What was the problem from last year Barcelona? Because of what people were saying, I'm disagreeing with it. Because of I was watching, because of in football, we can watch football, but we won't have the same opinions. I'll be discussing those opinions with you. But firstly, I would like you to subscribe, like, and share the video. I would like to grow as a content creator, as someone who loves to talk about football, as someone who wants to grow in this football space. So anyway, let me dive right in. Barcelona, they've signed Rodri. We also it yesterday at the man who confirmed, the man who all men like, confirmed that Barcelona signed Rodri. How does that elevate Barcelona? How is it going to elevate Barcelona? From this moment, Real Madrid, I'm urging for you to make sure that when you practice at your training session, from right now, make sure that you practice 10 times harder than you were practicing for the last few days. Because of right now, Rodri is at Barcelona. You know what that means? It means that there's no team gonna get the ball from Barcelona. Just imagine having Pedri and Rodri in the same team. Pedri, Rodri, Frankie, Pedri, Frankie. You also how Rodri and how Pedri and Frankie can be. Just imagine those players having Rodri in their team. How better they're gonna be. How does this thing elevate them? Because I think right now is the time for Frankie de Jong to be the Frankie de Jong of 2021. The Frankie de Jong that Koeman was allowing to score goals. It's the time for that Frankie de Jong. It's time for us to see that advanced Frankie de Jong. Pedri, it's time for us to see that Pedri who will be threatening assist now and then. Who will be making those key passes like how he was during the 2024. Was it 2024? I think it was Nations League. Oh no, the time that he was. I can't remember very well, but there was a time when Pedri was giving most key passes in his career. I don't remember well because of 2024 Euro, Toni Kroos injured him, quarter final. So I don't think it was in 2024. But it's time for us to see that Pedri. And I want to say, people were saying Barcelona, they were losing because of the highline. They were losing because of they don't have the right personnel at centre backs. No, that was not the reason. Barcelona, they lost because they didn't have a midfielder who will cover most ground. Because of I am a coach. So as I am a coach, I like last year, for the past 2 seasons, while I was coaching a team, I was using the highline. And the highline was very good only because of only if my central defensive midfield was doing her job, because I was coaching ladies, was doing her job. If that central defensive midfield was doing her job, my defenders didn't have a problem, because of only they need to do is for them to have that highlight, and everything was good. Even in Barcelona, I remember last year against Real Madrid, first round of El Clasico, it was at October, I think. Barcelona lost 2-1 in that game. And the reason that they lost, it wasn't because of the highline was bad. No, we all know Kubasi is the father of Mbappe. Kubasi is marking Mbappe like his own child. Mbappe cannot pass Kubasi at Real Madrid. Mbappe cannot pass Kubasi even at France. So do you think Kubasi being that good, he can be passed by some regular defenders? He cannot, but only if the press of Barcelona is well coordinated from higher to the midfield, the defense will not have anything to worry about. Because people were saying Barcelona were struggling because of Rafinha is not there, Lamine Yamal is not there. What is the job of Rafinha in that team besides scoring? What's the job of Lamine Yamal besides scoring? is for them to coordinate the press. While they were coming from injury, they were too late to press. Therefore, people were just bypassing them very easily. And if you bypass them very easily, what does it need for you to be well in that pressing, or that press to not be dismantled as easily? Is for you to have that number 6. What kind of number 6? The number 6 like Casado. Because when Casado was there, Barcelona was not getting more goals, was not conceding as much. Because of Casado can do those dirty plays, can cover more ground, can make those tactical fouls, while Pedri can cover, but he can only cover his side. But when you have someone like Casado, when you have someone like Rodri, who can cover the whole ground, then what are you crying about? So right now, Barcelona have Rodri, the person who will be covering the ground. Do you think any team will be able to pass that defense? No. They might be lacking at the left center back, having Gerard Martinez. But let me tell you something, bruh. Let me tell you something. If you have Christensen, if the Christensen of 2021 come back, then you will have a correct center back, a center back who will be able to carry the ball, who will be able to thread those passes like Kubasi, because we all know Kubasi, with one pass, he can turn defensive into attack. Then imagine having that person with that kind of a passing range, and having Christensen with that passing range. My brother, you're in for a dangerous war. Then they also announced the signing of Cancelo. Do you think there will be a team that will be able to stop Barcelona? Because of at La Liga, Real Madrid is still gonna lose this league, bruh. Barcelona this season will win the 3rd consecutive La Liga on top, and they will win the Super Cup and the Copa del Rey, and at the UEFA Champions League. It's up to them. It's up to the mentality that they will be heavy. It's up to Rodri with the mentality of him coming from the Man City of Pep Guardiola. That they were resilient, winning almost six Premier League in a row. Winning almost 6 Premier League in a row. So just imagine having that person with that kind of mentality, with that kind of a leadership in your team, adding to those young players that are around him. Because of Barcelona, they are playing with under 21. Because of most of their players, they are not above the age of 22. I think this year they will be passing that 21 age mark. Most of them will be 23, 24. But let me just say what Barcelona, they are playing with under 25 team. Because of Pedri, Gavi, Banal, Femin, Lamine, Kubasi, Xavi Espad, Gerard Martinez, Balde. Those are young players. And Juan Gracias. I've spoken about 10 players who are under the age of 23. So you'll be beaten. The teams will be beaten by young players. Young players will make sure that Barcelona thrive. Because of this Barcelona, this generation of Barcelona is Barcelona that no one has to mess with. It's the Barcelona that has to go to the higher, that they elevated themselves by having Rodri, just Rodri. And I want to touch base another thing about Barcelona not having strike. I'm not worried. As a Barca fan, I'm not worried. If Barcelona they do not manage to sign Julian Alvarez, I don't care, but because of we have Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo can play as our false 9. Then we have Fermin Lopez as our number 10. Just imagine the technical ability, those tight spaces, touches that Dani Olmo makes in a match. Imagine having that player in a box that have those touches, those. Oof, well, I cannot explain how good and how good tactically and technically Dani Olmo is. Dani Olmo can trap and control a ball when he is surrounded by 4 players in a box and manage to needle through a some passes that you cannot think of. So Barcelona, they don't really need a striker because of them goals will be coming from Lamine, Gordons, Adiemi, Rafinha. You have those players to give you goals. Just imagine Lamine and Rafinha in a season combined, they can give you up to 50 goals. Then you have Rodri, who is there, who is a player who gives you 4 to 5 goals a season. Then just imagine the Frankie de Jong of 2018 returning. Even though I know Frankie will be sidelined for 6 months, but we also have Firmino Lopez who can give you 10 goals a season, 15 goals a season. Then Olmo who can give you 50 goals a season. So then Olmo and Firmino Lopez, they give you up to 30. Then Lamine and Frankie is 50. So you have 80 goals in your front four. Plus those defenders will be scoring here and there. So you do not need a strike in Barcelona for you to be the champions. Barcelona were in their prime when they didn't have the striker. Only we can say Luis Suarez, but Luis Suarez came in a match in a team that they were having Lionel Messi. By that I'm saying, Barcelona, they don't need a striker for them to be competing for Champions League. They have the right personnel, they have the right people, and Real Madrid have to be ready for this. Have to be ready to spend the whole 90 minutes without touching the ball. Champions League teams have to be ready to spend 90 minutes for them not even touching the ball. For them not even being able to combine 5 passes because of Hansi Flick have monsters in his team that will be denying people to have the ball, that will be making people offsides 9-10 times in 90 minutes. So it's time for Barcelona to own Champions League, to own La Liga. And by me saying this, Ferran Torres, goodbye, boy, because of where you went, you won't win the Champions League. PSG, it was the first, the second, and the last time winning the Champions League. They will never win the Champions League. Their run is over. It's time for Barcelona to take over the world. It's time for us to know what Barcelona that